Right, so we want to look at functions quickly. We want to quickly look at functions. Right, so functions are basically blocks of code that we use to execute a specific function, a specific set of operations, right? For example, you want to perform arithmetic operations, right? So for your arithmetic operations, you have to create a function. The arithmetic operations may be in various forms. Maybe it's the calculation of the area of a triangle, or calculating the area of a square, a rectangle. That's an example, right? So when you're writing a function, you have to use the keyword. The structure is this. Let me just give you the structure. You write DEF, definition of the function. Then you write the function name. Right? Then you open your parenthesis, right? You write your colon, you indent, right? If you are returning something, you return. If you want to print something, you print. If you want to print something, let me just say these are just statements, right? Statements. Right? Then if you want to return something, you can return something. Return blah blah blah. Right? Let's just create a simple function. We want to create a function that adds two numbers, right? We just want to add two numbers. Let's say we just want to greet someone. The function to it greet me. Greet me. Then print. Hello there. Right? So if we run it, this is our function. But now, how do you invoke a function? How do you invoke a function? What does invoking a function mean? Invoking a function simply means we want to use the function. How do we use it? The way we use it is invoking it. That's how we invoke it. Like if you want to start your car, you have to turn on the ignition, right? Put the key insert the key in the ignition, then turn it on, right? So you just write the name of the function. If you use tab here, you see that the function is there, right? You see, this is how you invoke the function. You write the function name as well as the parentheses. Then definitely it is going to print whatever it is in this function. Right? Let's create another function. Def add numbers. I want to add numbers. Add numbers. I want to add numbers. Then you have to return. Use the keyword return. Let's say before we go to return, don't worry, let's just return the numbers. We start small, right? We'll target my basics a little. Right. Then your guess is right. 11 is the answer. So this is how you create your functions. Right, let's spice up things here a little bit. We want to add some complexity in this code. So within these parentheses, you can also add what are known as arguments. Arguments, whatever you write within the parentheses of the function, the information that you put in here is called arguments. So these are basically variables. Let's say we have x and y. These are variables that we have. Therefore, we want to return the value of x plus y. So what does this mean? It means whenever we invoke this function, we should put numbers as arguments in the parentheses of the function. If we fail to do so, we will generate an error. Like here. You see? Add number missing 2 required positional arguments, which is X and Y. So for you to avoid this error, you have to put the numbers. Let's say we want to add 7 and 10. You get 17. This is how you do it. So sometimes you might want even to prompt the user to enter values that you use to add, right? Let's say here you've got your A, which is going to become input. Then you might enter some information. Enter value of A, right? Then here B is equal to, you can just copy and paste. Copy and paste. This is our B, right? Then what we want to do now is we need to typecast, right? Change the data type, which means A becomes what? Int A, and B becomes int B. Why are we doing this? As I said earlier on in other videos, if you prompt the user to enter something, whatever you are entering here, it will appear as a string. It will be stored as a string. So you have to change the data type, because if we add one up, it is merely going to concatenate the strings, right? Enter value of A 5. Enter value of B 10. Right? 10. Then what next? Let's take the variable char. Instead of 10 and 7, we are going to write A and B here. Let's see what is going to give us. It will give us 15. So that's how you prompt the user to do these things. So these are just examples. These are just examples of functions, how functions work. Right? Why are we doing this? Because we want to create a user-defined package. Right? So if we learn what my function and what was saying, it will be easy for us. Because the next step that we want to take now is we want to create a Python file. A Python file is that type of file that has got an extension yekuti py yekuti uchiona file racho rinenge rakanzikana, maybe it's stones and .py. This is the extension. And it my mp3 yenyu anenge akanzi .mp3 kana mamovie yenyu pamwe anenge akanzi .mp4. That's a file format, right? Pamwe what else do you guys do? Wait, I don't know. Yeah, those are just examples. So it's just an extension. So a Python file has got a file extension in py. So in the next video, we want to look at how we create those Python files. After creating the Python files, we then create a package, a user-defined package, and it will be done for the day.